Hey guys, I created a few little canvases that I wanted to share with you today, and I had one bunny left, and I thought I would sit down and turn the camera on and show you how I made the canvases. They're not going to be exact, they're not all the same, but you'll get the idea. And what I used was a garland that I got at Target in their clearance bin like a couple of years ago, and the bunnies were strung together like this on some jute or twine, and they had big pom-poms in between, and the pom-poms are separate on the other table. I did not use those in any of the canvases, but you could make it the tail. I just thought they were rather large for that, but I saved them aside for something else, maybe a bigger bunny. And the garland was 60 inches long, and it had 5 bunnies on it, so I just took it apart. And here's what the bunny looks like off the garland itself. There's 2 holes in every bunny, but that's easy to work around. And I was on my last bunny and I started it, but then I thought maybe you guys would like to see what I did. So I'm going to do the other side, and I don't know which side I'll use, but I'm going to do the other side so that you'll see the process. But let me show you these real quick and then we'll get started with the project. This one is done on a little wood canvas, and I just put a little paper on the back just to cover it and did some staining. And here's the bunny on the front, and like I said, the little holes can be worked around. Just add some ribbon in there and give it a cute little look. And all the tails are either flowers of some sort. I think they are, yeah, they're all flowers actually. And I just hung this up here with little, I think eye hooks. I don't know if they're called eye hooks or what they're called, but I strung ribbon through it and just stitched it right there and put little flowers over it so you really see the holes. And it's just a plain, simple little canvas, and it's just really cute and sweet. This one, I used a white canvas, the little stretch canvases. I used drop paper on top here, did some painting around the edges, and I put some paper on my bunny, and here's the ribbon. Here's a little heart that I had that I put on, and I did a little rub-on on it, and then I took some ribbon that I had, and I just made a little, like almost like a carrot top, the little, I don't know what they're called, little leaves or whatever at the top of a carrot. And so this looks kind of like a carrot, a big chunky heart carrot, and a little flower tail. And I used a stamp here. And then this little butterfly here, I made a bunch of tin metal stamp pieces and some butterflies and hearts and stuff. And so I just used one of the butterflies on here, and it says art in the middle. And let's see, this one here is similar in that I used drop paper on the main top part of the canvas, did some painting on the edges, and this bunny I painted, and then I used one of the Robin Marie Smith stamps on it, and just did a little watercolor painting in there, and a little flower for the tail, ribbon here, and these are little metal embellishments, and then this is a little bird that I've had for quite a while that I just stuck in the middle. And then this one is done on a burlap canvas. Same thing. I didn't do anything to the canvas except distress it a little bit. Put a little piece of drop paper down here, just a little strip at the bottom. It just was laying on my desk, and I thought, I'll just put it on the canvas. So I just glued it down. And the bunny's been painted white, and another stamp used on here. And painted in with a little bit of watercolor pencils, actually watercolor pencils. And then your ribbon here, and the little flower tail. And then these are just some little flowers here that I clustered up. Put some fibers that I had left over from something stuck in the middle, and then a little bird on top. So they're really simple and easy and fast to make. Oh, and here's the pom-poms. I had those sitting here. I didn't realize. So you see they're a little bit large, and I think that it might have been cute. Let me pick one colored one so you can see. Might have been cute, but it was a little overwhelming for me. So I'm going to sit down with the next bunny here that I've already put some drop paper on one side, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you how I did it on this side, and then I'll just decide which side I want to use, and I'll show you how I made the canvas, okay? So the first thing I want to do is decide what I want to put on the rabbit. Do I want to paint it? Do I want to put drop paper? And on this one I'm going to put drop paper, and I have a little piece here that will fit. Now one thing I want to point out is if you don't want your rabbit color to show through your drop paper, you might want to paint it white or another color if you want to, but I don't really mind in this case. This one I did not paint, so you can see through this drop paper the color of the wood, and I like it fine. It doesn't have to be white to me, or any other color for that matter. So I just turn it over and I just use some of this Aleene's tacky glue, and I just cover the rabbit all over. And then I'm going to take my finger and spread it all around so that we get good coverage. And then just decide what area you want it. In this particular case, it doesn't really matter. So you make sure you can glue it down really good. And if you miss any areas, it's no big deal. You can just come back in and tuck a little glue in there. But you want to have a cutting mat, something that's self-healing, or whatever you use to cut on. And I use my X-Acto knife. And after the glue's dried, you don't want to run this through your glue. You can, but you make sure you wipe it off if you do. But I usually make sure it's dry. And in this case, I didn't do a bad job of getting the glue anywhere outside the rabbit. So I'll just go ahead and start. And then I'm just going to go around my rabbit. Then you pull your paper away. And that's what you've got so far. And I'm just going to check the other side and see if there's any areas that need to be touched up. And I will touch those up and pull away the paper. And you can go around with your finger and kind of smooth it down. So that's what we have. Now, you know you have holes. When you go to do your holes, or your rabbit, make sure. On some of mine, I covered both sides because I wasn't sure which side I wanted to use. I wanted my rabbit to go this way or possibly this way, so I covered both sides so I'd have that option. If you know what you're going to do exactly, you don't have to do both sides. If you want to make sure there's a real finished look in case someone peeks underneath, you can do both sides. But if you do both sides, be sure that when you do the first side, you poke your holes through here so you keep track of where your holes are, so that when you do your second side, you can just come over here and you can find your hole. I'll just do it this way. And re-poke through. Or you can cover the hole completely if you don't want holes in your rabbit, but I really like the holes because I wanted to put ribbon there. And I'm using it all. You can use a pokey tool or something like that. Okay. So now I've got my holes and my paper on, and I've got two options. I can use this side or this side. The next thing I'm going to do is, and this is something I usually forget to do until after the project's together. Then I have to go around and try to do it with the project put together. But I remembered this time, luckily. So I take my Distress ink, and this is walnut stain. You can use any kind of tool that you want to use to apply it with, however you apply yours. And I'm just going to go around and distress my bunny all around the edges on both sides, so that in case I use one side or the other, they're both done, and kind of in the middle here. So you do this side and this side, and just kind of make sure you get in the middle, just so that, you know, whatever's poking out, you've got it covered and you don't have to come back in and do it later, which is typically what I have to do. So, and some of these little crevices and corners are a little hard to get in, and that way when I get there, all I do is, instead of trying to get in that corner, I just put it on top like that, and it gives the illusion that it's actually got some in there. I don't stress about trying to get into these little tiny cubby holes. It's just not worth it. So just go around all your bunny. And here, where the ears are real pointed, I can't get in there. Maybe get a Q-tip and try, or just kind of go on top like that. And it gives the illusion that it's got some coverage. So this is the first side, and I kind of go up on top of the paper just a little bit so that you can see the distress, and that way I know that I've got it all. And then I'm going to do the other side. I also have some worn lipstick out here, and on the other bunnies I gave them a little cheek and did a little bit in the ear. This side you won't be able to see it very well, but we're going to do it anyway just so that it's there. And you can see it some, but not real great. But if you're looking real close, you can. And this side, we'll do this side too. And this one, you'll see it better. And I like that. And then there's that side. so now we're going to use the canvas. And the canvases I'm using are just the little cheap Artist Loft canvases you can get at Michael's. I think it's Michael's that has Artist Loft. And 2 come in a pack, and these are 5x7. And so we're going to use that. And I've chosen this scrapbook paper I just had left over in my bin, and I want to put this on top as the base. And what I'm going to do is just kind of trace around so I know about where I need my paper torn, because I'm going to tear my edges. So once you trace around, you can't really see, can you? Once you trace around your canvas, like I just showed you, then I'm just going to start tearing. And kind of tear on the line, and it might be a little big, so if you go inside the line, it's fine. I'd stay, no, I wouldn't go on this side of the line. I'd stay on the line or inside a little bit to make sure that it fits your canvas. And I would turn it over so that the camera doesn't blur if it is blurring, so that you could see, but then I couldn't see my line because I didn't draw them on that side. And I don't care if this is smaller than my canvas. All I care about is that it fits on there. Now, see, it's a little big, so I've got to trim some more down. Alright, so you can see that it does not fit exact, and I like that. That's perfect. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue this on. But what I want to do is take some double-sided tape. This is scrappy tape, and it's the 1/2 inch. And I'm going to put this on the back, and then I'm going to put glue also on top, and then glue it down. Burnishing the glue, make sure it spreads out, make sure the tape sticks, because the canvas doesn't have a hard back here on the back. I'm just making sure and hold it, or do it on this side, and kind of making sure it sticks. So now I have to decide which side of the rabbit I want to use, because that'll determine what I do next. And I have this drop paper that's actually really was used as a jelly printing paper to wipe off excess. So I have that, and I'm thinking of tearing a strip off and putting it at the bottom as if it's grass. And I'm just trying to decide which side of the bunny I like with it. I really like the bunny like this, with this side matching this color here. But when I add the green, I kind of like that. So let's go ahead and tear off our strip of grass first. And test it out. So I've got that, or I've got that. The other thing I was thinking of adding in was I have this card that I've had in my stash a while, and it's got some pretty flowers and green color and just real pretty. So I was thinking of putting that down too. And that will help determine which side. So see that, how that looks. If I turn the rabbit around, it's facing away from this. So let's move it on the other side. Both are pretty. Okay, I'll decide and I'll let you know what I come up with. First, I want to glue down this grass, because then I won't have to keep fussing with it, and that'll stop distracting my mind from it moving around. Then I only have 2 things to worry about. Oh, kind of funky looking. Okay, let's put it down here. Okay, I've decided to go this route. And the reason is because it just has a very vintagey appeal, and I like that. And this is really bright and colorful, and I love that too. But I really want to use this card, and I just like this look with it. And there's no reason other than I just like it. I like both sides, but you gotta pick one. I can't do both. So I'm going to put the card on this side, and I want to tear it a little bit so that it's not the whole card. And I'm just going to rip it down like that. I think we'll do that. And what I want to do, and I might use some on the other side, I'm not sure. What I want to do is use my distress stain or ink again. It's the walnut stain again. And I'm going to distress the edges of the piece that I tore. And I'm leaving these sides here straight. I don't mind that they're not raggedy. So I know that's going to go here. And then I need to decide, do I want some up here? I'm going to go ahead and cut a little piece, well, tear a little piece of this off, just in case I want to use it here. I really can't decide. And Oscar has joined me, although I can't get him in the camera right now. He has a little dilemma because since my husband's home, he has a choice of being upstairs or downstairs, and so I've got the door shut, and he can't decide if he wants to stay in the room or go out of the room. So I made the decision for him, and so he's kind of trapped. He may want out in a minute, so we'll see. He's sitting so big. He's just so cute. Okay, so if I put that there, I kind of like that. I'm going to do it because there are some flowers going up here, and it might cover it up and I might not see it, and that would be okay. But it's there in case it peeks through. So I need to distress this one too. So that's distressed, just in case you see it. So now I want to put these on my canvas. And again, I'm going to use a little bit of this double-sided tape just to kind of give it something to hold while the glue is drying. Now, you notice that I did not distress my papers, and that's because I didn't think to, mainly, and also because I didn't remember that I might distress this, so I can still come in and put some distress around it. But I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of paint, so I don't think it's going to be necessary. We'll see in a second. So the next thing I need to decide is about the paint, and I am going to go ahead and put my ribbon on my rabbit, though, so that that's done. And what I'm going to use is this ribbon here that I got Hobby Lobby, I think, on clearance a long time ago. And it's just got some pink and brown. And I want to make sure that I have enough, so I'm going to leave it attached and run it through one side. And then I want about that much again, so about that much. Okay, so we've got our ribbon on. Now, I'm going to paint the edges and then we'll add the flowers, so I gotta decide on paint. I'm gonna try this. I have this Folk Art, and I think it's raw umber. Yeah, it's raw umber, and it is old paint, and it has become very congealed, and I mix a little water with it, a little as I use it, but it's very thick. And so what I think I'm gonna do is pour some out. I put a little bit of matte medium in it to kind of thin the paint out, and I'm just going to mix it together. Do I want this brush? I'll use this brush. Mix it together. I'm going to try this. I'm going to have a napkin ready because I might want to wipe some away and just see if I like it. And I think I'm going to, because I didn't want it to be a thick paint. I wanted it to be kind of a distressed look, almost antique-ish kind of. and come up on top of the canvas a little bit where the white is. It has a wood kind of look. I think what I'll do is I'll just go around it one more time, and when all is said and done, I'll come and I'll do the back side. And maybe I'll do that now. I'll just go ahead and I'm gonna do the back side off camera because you don't need to see that, but so far that's what it looks like. Okay, painted the back. Doesn't look that neat. I don't think I painted the back of the other ones. I don't remember, I'd have to go look. But I think the reason I didn't is because I probably didn't have a lot of excess paint, and because I had it, I wanted to use it and not waste it. So I used it on the back, and I still have more paint. So I just wiped it up on my tag here, and I've got a bunch of tags here. I've been doing some painting on canvas lately, and I've got a bunch of tags here where I've wiped up the excess paint, and these will become just tags for various things, and I've done a lot of these in the past. So that's one way to use up your excess paint, and then have a pretty tag starter or starter tag to play with. So let this dry. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to use a stamp on here, and this is a flower stamp. It is from Paper Bag Studio, and it is from the Natural Elements Rubber Stamp Sheet by Ray Missigman. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my rabbit here, and I'm just going to take my canvas and turn it sideways. Well, maybe this way, because I want to stamp right here. And I'm not going to be concerned if I get a full impression. I just want something. And whatever I get, I'm going to love. And this is Timber Brown Stays On ink. And I'm just going to kind of get it juicy there. And then I'm going to lay it down on my canvas, about right there, and then just press. And because I don't have a hard surface underneath the center part, it may not impress very well. It may not give me the best impression, but we're going to try. I could pull it off and slide my hand underneath there and kind of push, or turn it over and stamp it, but I'm not going to worry about it. Whatever happens, happens. Oh, nice. It gave me a nice one. I love it when I get a nice impression when I'm not expecting to. So that turned out really well. And like I said, I have these excess paint tags that I keep on the side, and what I do is if I have any stamping that I'm doing and anything I need to get off, just stick it on there. And there's not much ink left. I got all the ink off, but it did put a little bit on there. So the next thing we're going to do is put the tail on the rabbit. And I've chosen a crochet flower tail, and I'm going to distress it just a little bit with my walnut stain, just a little bit around the edges, not too much, not too dark. And it's going to go right there. So let's put a little glue on the back and glue it down. Isn't that just cute as can be? That's just so cute. He's going to look good there. The way I put my rabbit down is very simple. I just use some pop dots. I have these square pop dots, and this is 3D dots, and these are really old. I've got them at the Scrapbook Superstore, but any kind of pop dot will work. And I'm just going to turn my rabbit over. Let's see. And I'm going to put one kind of here at the head. And one back here, kind of on his little back, and one a little further down, and then one right here. Let's see. That's good enough. Okay, and because these are old and I don't want to trust them to stay sticky, I'm going to take some of my Helmar 450 quick dry adhesive glue, and I'm going to put it around here, and when I push the bunny down, the glob of glue might adhere to here, to the canvas, and help hold it on. It might not, but it's just a little extra precaution. And if you trust your pop dots, you don't have to do that. You can always glue him back on if he comes off. And I could have put a little glue under my pop dot, but I didn't. We're going to put the glue down here. let's say around these pop dots here and in the center there and then up here. Just kind of in the center where you don't see it. Okay. And then I'm going to put him down here, about where I want him. Then I'm going to turn him over and push so that he's really adhered to the canvas. And then you let him dry, but while he's drying, we're going to work on our flowers. I've chosen a few flowers here already off to the side, and I'll show them to you up close. You can use any flowers you want, doesn't matter, whatever you think looks good. Got these here. And then I have a little bird, and I'm going to get some fiber. Okay, I just have a little piece of fiber here, and I'm going to distress my flowers just a little bit. These don't need it too much. You probably won't even see it really. I'm going to take my paintbrush, small paintbrush, and I'm going to roll the stems, these little wires here. I'm just going to kind of roll them loosely like this. Like that. And that way, if you see the stem, it's just a little curly stem. And if you don't see it, you don't see it. And this one too. You can cut them off if you don't want them on there. Okay, now I want one, let's see, kind of like let's just glue down. Let's put one there. And kind of leave a little space for your bird. Then I'm going to drop some glue. This one doesn't have to have that other glue. We'll just use this glue. Drop some glue in the center here of the flowers. And just put my fiber in there. And I'm going to glue my bird in. Okay, that has to dry. So we're going to leave it to dry. If you want your fibers to be stringy, just cut your little loops here, wherever you find them. One last thing for the bunny. I found this little cog in my little box of embellishments, and this is like a copper color, and I like it kind of, you could make it the eye if you wanted to. That'd be kind of cute, but I don't want to do that. I'm just going to put it up here at the ear level right there, but I'm not going to use the side that you're supposed to use. I'm going to turn it over and use the darker side, and I just like the way it looks better. Kind of disappears, but yet there's some texture there, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to set it there in the ear level area. Now everything has to dry and our bunny's done. And we have a really cute little collection of Easter canvases, or just bunny canvases, or whatever you create on yours, to hang on a little cluster on a wall or something. I don't know what I'm going to do with mine yet. I may put them on the wall somewhere. I don't know. But there's the edges and how they turned out. I've already signed the back. So I hope you enjoyed it. And let's move this so you can see it better. It's prettier that way. I hope you make something for yourself. And if you don't have wood pieces for your embellishments, just find an image on the internet and cut it out of chipboard or cardboard or something and make your own. You don't have to have the wood embellishments. I just happen to have a garland that sat in my drawer for a couple of years, and it was just one of those things I decided I want to use that up, so I did. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great whatever it is, and I will see you again later. Bye-bye.